Dark. Barbara Brown Taylor, in her book, Learning to Walk in the Dark, mentions the restaurant phenomenon that has spread over the last few years throughout Europe and also in several cities in this country, at least before COVID-19 hit. And that restaurant phenomenon involves eating in the dark. Patrons who are physically sighted make a reservation to go to a restaurant and eat a 5-course fixed price meal in total darkness, helped by a very helpful and blind wait staff who are charged with the task of helping these patrons to learn to enjoy the blessing of food in a very different way. I've included today for this worship service a video from one of those restaurants called Opaque. They have several very interesting videos from their website about the experiences of the patrons who visited there. Certain values that physically sighted people may cling to in their restaurant dining, like the decor of the room or the presentation of themselves or the plate, all of that seems to lose significance for the patrons of Opaque. Joined together by the challenge of eating in the darkness, the diners seem to come together. They rely heavily on one another. They eat carefully. They also rely heavily on the waitstaff, listening very carefully for their guidance. The waitstaff point out the location on the plate of each kind of food, and often after a while the diners simply abandon their utensils as they keep dropping them on the floor, and then they begin to put their fingers into the edges of their wine glasses in order to determine the depth of the liquid. Many of them report much laughter and happiness and an awareness as they grow together that there is more to eating than simply eating, that there are meals that have deep spiritual significance. And I think when I watched this video of the very many meals that I've hurried through, God forgive me, as though there was something I had to do that was more important than savoring delicious food that was well prepared and sitting beside my companions. In the book of 1 Corinthians, Paul questions the members of the Corinthian church to whom he was writing about eating and drinking the bread and the cup of communion unworthily, as we translate it. I've known people, and maybe you have too, who for years wouldn't come to communion because they thought that this biblical passage meant them, because they had done something in their life that was so sinful, or existentially they themselves were so unworthy that they were not welcome at the table. But I don't think that's what this passage is about. I think this passage is about eating in the dark. Because Paul says when you and I eat and drink unworthily, it means to eat and drink without discernment, without realizing what we're doing. The literal rendering of the word, the Greek word that we translate discerning, means to arrive at a right estimate of the true character of a thing. And I believe that we're being challenged by this passage not to be in the dark when we eat, whether we are physically sighted or not, whether we're squinting across the brightest beach picnic table or dining by candlelight. The delicious invitation is to discern the body, discern the bread, discern the wine ourselves, the reality of each golden moment, each meal. That may be the gift of going dark, as Wendell Berry puts it. Discernment. That's what the patrons of Opaque gained. Discernment. Eat in the dark, when the distracting light lowers and our inner awareness heightens, could be a gift. A gift that the darkness of this time may be bringing to us. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Eat in the dark. Be aware of the beloved nature of this life, your beloved companions when you gather around the table. Be aware of food and the blessing of food on the table. My friend Milton, who is both a minister and a chef, says that the communion bread that was served pre-COVID at his church and that they tasted with joy on those Sundays when they celebrated communion, he said it was baked by an old woman in his church who baked it with so much love. He said you could taste that love and her devotion in every piece. For every meal that we eat matters, and it has a backstory, a story of preparation, a story of how things came together to make the moment. What if it is, friends, that eating in the dark is meant to invite us in this time to slow down, to enjoy, as it were, slow food spirituality? What if we allow vision, sound, touch, taste, and scent to form our appreciation of all the sensate fullness of a simple meal that we enjoy alone or with others? What if this time is inviting us to a deeper awareness of all our abundant blessings?